Firstly, I'd like to welcome all our sports development officers for joining me today for a quick sports question and answer session. I suppose we're coming to you at this time of the year again that where all our seasons are kicking off. My own name is David Reedy. I'm sports marketing officer here in LIT. I'm joined here by Mark O'Donnell, our GA development officer, Lee Fitzgerald, our rugby development officer, Wayne Fanning, our sports development officer, and Niall Berry, our basketball development officer. You're all very welcome. Again, over the last couple of days, we've been getting questions from our students, and we'll get straight into answering them. So first up, I suppose, Lee, I'll start off with you and talk a small bit about rugby. A lot of questions coming in, and just basically, how do students get involved in the rugby in LIT?
Thanks for having us this morning, David. I suppose, first of all, if you want to sign up to participate in rugby, you can visit www.lit.ie/sports, where there you can find the registration form. So not only in that can you sign up for just rugby, but you can sign up for every sport you have an interest in participating in LIT. You just fill in that form if you want to get that information, and once everyone is signed up, we can add you to the WhatsApp groups for each of those.
Excellent. And just in terms of the different teams in the rugby setup, what competition or what levels do you compete at?
So I suppose start off first of all for first years. A lot of first years coming in will probably be under 20. So therefore there's an SSI, IRFU support under 20 league, a league format. You get more games in, not only just the one game or anything like that. So yeah, that's for under 20s. Then we offer, again, SSI, IRFU run men's senior league. So in that we're in the Division 1. After Christmas then you have the Brendan Johnson Cup, which is the highest level for rugby in college level. So that is solely run off a knockout basis. Then as well we have our women's rugby. So again, 2 years ago was the first year that we actually were successful enough to get out of women's team. So we started off with a lot of girls who had never played rugby before, and just wanted to get a taste for it. And excellent. I suppose for this year coming in, those girls that started 2 years ago are the backbone of our team now. They're some of our strongest girls. They have gone off and they've joined clubs, which has been very successful, and things like that.
These would have been girls that would never have played rugby before, really?
Yeah, so like some of these girls would have came to me at the start of that year and said, I've played tag rugby in school, you know, I've watched it on TV and things like that, and they ended up taking a like for the physical contact of the game, and now they're some of our strongest players on that team, which is very, very good. Then as well, this year we're going to look at, there has been high levels of people signing up for tag rugby. So we're going to look at running little tournaments in-house this year, just to get people again involved in the sport, to get them playing and give them a taste of that sport as well. And hopefully from that, and that stands for both men and women, that we'll integrate them into our college teams then as well, which is obviously full contact.
Excellent.
And then finally this year, SSI again this year, on their own are running a sevens tournament. So obviously 7 aside, and that would be for both men and women. So we'll be looking at running that as a kind of a recreational thing.
Excellent.
And I think a lot of the colleges will be running it on that basis as well. So again, for people who have not played much in the sport.
And finally, one other question that was coming in was some students not necessarily want to play rugby, but they actually want to get into the coaching side of things. Is there any opportunities for them to get into the coaching side of things in LIT?
Yeah, there is, of course. Down through the last couple of years, we've had a lot of people coming with those questions as well. We offer here, if you do come to us and say that you want to get involved in coaching, especially in the rugby side of things, we have a lot of links to local clubs and stuff like that. So we can get them out there volunteering in those clubs, literally just helping out on the underage structure of things. It might even link into their course in time to come if they're doing a sports course or a community course or anything like that. They will be given that opportunity to help out at that level. They can also get involved with the college team if they're at that standard of coaching as well. And depending on numbers then as well, we can run a level 1 coaching course as well for students But that would all again depend on numbers interested and stuff like that.
Very good. So basically, if they have that appetite to do coaching, get onto yourself, especially on email, lead.fitzgerald@lit.ie. Thanks,
Definitely,
Lee.
yeah.
Mark,
Thanks,
we'll move
David.
on to you. Talk about the GA inside an LIT. At the moment, what teams exist in LIT?
Thanks, David. Yeah, so as it stands at the moment, we have a Fresher 1, Fresher 2, Intermediate and Senior hurling teams. On the football side of things, for men, we have a Fresher and a Senior football men's team. And then we have one ladies football team and one camogie team. So freshers, female freshers are blessed that they're able to play right throughout the years. And obviously the boys then have the distinct advantage that they have they can play a fresher competition obviously for first year and then with their respective adult teams then after that.
Yeah, that was one question that was coming in as well. That can a first year coming into LIT, can they play with their senior team as well with their fresher team?
So a little bit of a mixed one. So if I suppose here in LIT, our senior hurling team playing Fitzgibbon Cup, so freshers are not allowed to play Fitzgibbon hurling with the senior hurlers. However, our senior football team, men's football team, competes in the Division 2 and the Trench Cup. So freshers in that instance are allowed play. And as I said earlier, the girls are lucky for all their years here in LIT. They're able to play camogie and ladies football regardless of what year of study that they're in.
Very good. And when are you starting training, or when does training commence?
So we had looked prior to the government issued ban that came on sports that came into place on Monday of this week. So that has put a temporary ban on all sporting activity, whether it's competitive or in a recreational capacity. So that's going to be in place up until the 12th of October at the earliest. And I was actually just on a meeting prior to this call with the Munster GA Council. So we will be liaising with all the other development officers, particularly the ones based in Mary I and UL, but Munster in general, to organise pre-leagues, or I should say pre-Christmas leagues, kind of go on the third and last week of October up till the end of November, and then championships then typically take place after Christmas. And obviously I think as students are probably sick of hearing at this stage, the COVID situation is changing on a week-to-week basis, so we're pretty much playing it by ear. As soon as the ban is uplifted and we're allowed to go back to the field again, as Lee mentioned there earlier, our social media platforms are a great place to find out our timetable of events and stuff like that.
Exactly. So basically, the LIT Sports, again, we'll add that link into the bottom of this video, but the LIT Sports social media accounts for upcoming trainings when this ban is over. Again, what other roles are in LIT if student wants, or in the GA Club if students want to get involved?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. I suppose sometimes people neglect the fact that the GA Club is just for players. As part of my job, I'm tasked with organising all the coaching, management, the sports, sport support staff, and logistics and admin and different roles like that. So if there are, again, as Lee, I'm probably copying some of his script, but as other students, or as Lee had mentioned, if people are doing a sports-based course and they'd like to gain some voluntary experience on the coaching side of things, by all means touch base with me. People that are doing marketing or courses that involve high levels of administration, and people who need to have a close eye for fine detail, there are definitely IT and administrative roles that would work in direct liaison with me in that regard. So there are more than one job, I suppose, for anyone within the GA Club.
Exactly. So again, for students there that want to be involved in the GA Club that maybe necessarily doesn't want to play GA, there are roles there. So again, contact mark.o'donnell@lit.ie if you have queries or if you want to get involved, and that's both on the administration side of things or the playing side of things. Thanks a million, Mark.
Absolutely, yeah.
Niall, we'll move on to you and we'll talk about a bit of basketball in LIT.
Absolutely.
So at the moment, what teams have you involved or have you trained in LIT, and at what levels are they playing at?
Yeah, we have the men's play in the Division 1, the National Colleges Division 1 League. They also play in the Division 3. So we have two men's team, obviously the first and the second. And then we have a women's team that plays in the Division 2. They're highly competitive. They have been highly competitive for the last, especially last year. So there are really our competitive teams. And outside of that, we also have in partnership really with the Division 3 team, we've got a local league men's team. So a lot of our Division 3 players will play in that local league, and some Division 1 players for extra games, I suppose, for extra development. So we like to try and cater for anyone who wants to play. On top of teams, we're looking to as well to run a participation strategies. So we're looking to run 5v5 in-house leagues, and we're looking to run 3v3 in-house leagues, so that anybody that wants to play basketball in the college can come in and play. If somebody wants to rise up and play at the highest level, they have an opportunity to do so. But if somebody wants to just come in and participate and be part of a group, they can also do so and learn the game.
That's excellent, because we have got a lot of questions, especially for beginners that maybe have only took it up on their last year in secondary school or something, and then coming into LIT and maybe didn't want to play at that competing level, but just want to play recreation. But we're saying that there's, if you want to play basketball, no matter what level, there will be a team or there will be a scenario that will let you play that, which
Absolutely.
is excellent. Another question was, if they want to play two sports in LIT, do they have the time, or will schedules allow them to play basketball and in another sport?
It should. I suppose we don't, most of our players that play at the higher levels, they play with their club basketball as well. And there's a huge commitment in it. So, I suppose most players would train 5 days a week if they're playing, at the elite level in Irish basketball, the national leagues and the super leagues, and even the under 20 national leagues. So if somebody's playing at that level, it can be very difficult to play two sports, because I suppose it takes that level of commitment to play, the level that they want to play. But somebody comes in and they want to start out, they can choose a participation strategy, or they can choose to play on the D3 team, or they can choose to play at a level that doesn't have the same massive amount of commitment levels. We do require, I suppose, the teams themselves want people to be committed so that they're successful. But you can definitely play both. They train once a week, and the participation strategy, the in-house leagues will be on an opposite day, so they will have an opportunity to play even if they have to play playing on a different sport and start again.
Excellent. And another one, if they just want to play with their friends, we say at lunchtime maybe, or even after college, can they book the hall, or how do they go about playing just with themselves or with their friends?
Yeah, I suppose there's two ways in which they can do that. And one, they can book hours in the hall if hours are free. So during the day, if there's an hour free that it's not being used for class, they can book an hour slot in there, just get in with their friends, get a basketball and play for themselves. But also the participation strategies, the 3v3s and the 5v5s are designed so that you can come in and get your team of 5 friends together and play against others. So when we kick into that, and that there may be some restrictions on that in the beginning, obviously with COVID, but hopefully as the year goes on, that the restrictions open up and we can get people, you can bring your friends or get your own team, come in and participate in a 3v3 league. So you are playing with your friends. It's a little bit more competitive, but at the same time, you're playing amongst your friends.
Excellent. And again, have you started training, or are you on a small band as well at the moment? There's
been a ban this week again. So on Monday, we ban came into effect. We had started, so we ran our first sessions, and we got there was a good bit of interest. It's some nice interest in the men's and the women's side of things. The Division 1 men's team have been playing in the local league up until this week, but they will obviously cease until further notice. So there is a great interest there, and it is building. There's a bit of momentum there. So I'm excited to see, how the new students coming in, getting them involved and seeing how it can grow.
And again, I presume the LIT the LIT Sports social media accounts will have all your information when they commence again.
Absolutely. You can get into our social media accounts. We're very active on there. We're running, to second what Mark Lee just said, we're running some coaching courses, and we're actively looking to get students involved in coaching as much as we possibly can. Because if they're not on that level for basketball, they can get involved in coaching anyway.
Excellent. And if they want to do that, they contact you by email, niall.berry@lit.ie.
That's it, yeah.
Perfect, Niall. Thank you very much. And Wayne, finally on to you. We said we leave the best to last. So again, someone might want to play a competitive sport or a team sport. What other sports or activities even do LIT offer?
I suppose the sports and stuff that we offer, there's a wide range of something for everybody. We have soccer, we have 3 men's teams and ladies teams, all at varying degrees of participation and performance. We have Olympic weightlifting, powerlifting, we've golf, we've outdoor activities, we've fitness classes, like yoga, circuit classes, metcon classes. We'll also have tennis, which you can play either competitively or you can just grab a couple of rackets and go down and play with your friends. We should have squash, kickboxing. We have other sports that we don't have a club for, but if you want to compete, if you let me know, then we will sign you up for the college's competitions. You might just be training by yourself, which happens a lot in athletics. We'd have maybe 1 or 2 sprinters in the college, or javelin or shot put or something. We wouldn't have facilities for it, but they would just train away with their own club, and we'd pay for them to enter the college's competitions.
Gee, that's excellent. So basically you're saying if there's no club in your chosen sport in LIT at the moment, come to you, Wayne Fanning at lit.ie is the easiest way to get you, and you will basically set them up in either in competition or nearly set up a club for them.
If we're always looking to add new clubs to what we provide. So the more people that contact us to get involved, to say what sports that they want, the more chance we have of setting up a club like that. Like we set up the clubs depending on what the students want. So if the students don't come to us to say what they want, then we won't know to set up that club for them.
Excellent. And again, if they want to register for these sports, it's your own email address, I presume?
They can contact me at wayne.fanning@lit.ie, or the best place to sign up for activities is www.lit.ie/sport, and the link for registration, online registration, is on that.
And just recreational sports, or not even sports is probably the wrong word. The likes of yoga, do LIT supply these types of activities?
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff there for people who just want to be active or do things with their friends. We have, like I said, we have the likes of yoga. We have Metcon classes. We have gym passes and swim passes for the Green Hills Hotel, where you come up to the sports office. You're €5. The passes are €5. You can go down and use the swimming pool and gym in the Green Hills Theatre if you like. You can book those online, but you can buy the passes from us. As well as that, pretty much any sport that we run in LIT, you can just do it for participation, or you can do it for performance. As the lads said, they'll all have their own recreational programs going. 3v3 basketball. Lee'll have different rugby, tag rugby going at lunchtime. Mark is going to have social Gaelic football, and we'll have 5-a-side soccer as well. So there's plenty of opportunity for people to just be active.
Excellent. And if we say, how do students from the likes of Thurles or the Ennis campus, where are trainings happening, or how do they have a different team, or are they involved in the same LIT sports team?
So for individual stuff and fitness classes, we would have different programs running in each campus. So in the likes of Clonmel, there's boxing and calisthenics. They're the two ones that people want down there. In Thurles, it's a lot of powerlifting and Olympic lifting, which are the big ones down there. In Ennis, we have fitness classes. It's pretty much what the students have asked for down there. If you want to play any of the team sports, then at the moment you play with the team, with the Moylish teams. They all play together, but we have played soccer games down in Thurles, so the students in Thurles are not travelling all the time. There is a good bit of travel, but we do try and very
Excellent. And finally, how do students find out what is going on basically every week, or is there is it the same platform and the social media accounts?
So every Friday there's an email sent out to your student email account with a plan for the weekend, what's happening, venues, etc. But also this year we're going to advertise it on social media. Everything that's happening daily will be put up on our Instagram stories. Hopefully that will be happening from the 12th once this kind of restrictions are lifted. So please God, we'll be starting that.
Excellent. And again, I suppose thanks very much for joining me today and answering these answers from our students. But if any student has a question that we haven't got around to, who do they contact, or how do they get these questions answered?
The best way to get them answered is you can either email any of us individually. I think Dave is going to put up our individual emails, or you can email sports@lit.ie, or otherwise you can just send a DM on Instagram or Twitter or something like that, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Excellent, Wayne. And again, thanks a million for everyone joining me. Again, best luck in the year ahead. It's a difficult but exciting time at the same time. And again, best luck and thanks a million.